Welcome back to another episode of Tides of Change. Each video takes a dozen hours to bring to life, so it would really help the channel if you could leave a like. And remember, members get early access to the next episode. Now then, back to the story. Now, you guys did incredibly well last week, surviving thrope transformation on board. I wanted to add a bit of a brief description. The thrope, when they do partial transformations willingly, it's more like the traditional werewolf where, they're still humanoid, but they get a lot of wolf-like features. But with the full moon, it's a complete reversion to their primal form. So they become dire wolves or giant leopards. So if they were the cats, just imagine if they were the cat variety of thrope on that boat, they would have, you guys wouldn't have survived because of the agility buff.
Oh no.
So thankfully they were wolves on water, but I have some fantastic news for you guys. As the reward, everybody will be getting bonus points to their stats. So I'm going to be changing the way combat works because I don't want people to just prioritize one physical attribute. So whenever you do a physical attack, you will combine your strength and dexterity. Whenever you cast a spell, it will be your resolve and your composure. Because the way I'm contributing stamina is that stamina is essentially influencing the degree of action. As you expend spirits and as you do multiple physical attacks, that will start to impact stamina, and I will be accounting for that with the outcomes of the results. So yeah, basically stamina is also important. It's not something to be neglected. So then we can officially start today's session. So you guys have successfully fended off the thrope transformation. Thankfully, nobody on the crew died, and even those who experienced near death, such as Roderick, has made a full recovery over the next 2 weeks. Your wounds were treated, Sorors. While they still hurt, Dr. Wolfenstein has some good news. It doesn't seem like any nerves were injured in the process, so you'll be able to make a full recovery in a few weeks.
Yay.
There might be like 3 little scars from where the dire wolf claws dug into you, but at least it wasn't a bite.
Mm-hmm.
Nyx, you have been on the boat for quite a while, and word spread around the crew that you are actually a kitsune. And while their opinion of you was somewhat lowered because they thought you were part of the crew, they still appreciate all the work that you'd put in despite this.
Okay.
They're more just like, why did you lie to us?
Wow.
We trusted you.
I was always part of the crew. You just didn't know it yet.
And Spira, you've been hard at work with Dr. Wolfenstein, helping treat the crew, Roderick and Sorors. I believe I gave you an increase to your apothecary skills. Yes, they're at +3 now, which is very nice.
I get it.
Still, you get +10 on all medical rolls moving forward, which I think is nice. Captain Hadrian Barksdale has called for you 4 at the top of the boat, and you guys gather. And Jareth Prodpole.
He's the best boy. He is the bestest of boys.
Yeah, he's basically the actual captain, just not in title because he keeps
Not in title, but in knowledge.
in work ethic. Yes. All right, give me a perception roll, everybody. Your highest mental stat. As you guys climb up onto the top of the boat to meet Hadrian, you guys spot in the distance that there's already coastline appearing on the horizon. So by midday, you should be making port. That's what Hadrian says to you. He's like, "Hello, everybody. As you can see, land is on the horizon, and we should be able to make port in a few hours. We're going to Port Oppa because it is one of the few thrope ports that is allowed on Tarnithia. Unfortunately, the species that lay claim to the lands on Tarnithia won't grant us any more. However, Kongs are not exactly a naval species, so they are more than happy to allow us to provide trade and opportunities for them. Hence the name Port Oppa." So, how much do you guys know about the Kongs? He asks the 4 of you.
I know nothing.
I don't know anything. I've been mostly isolated.
Well, that's just great then. Well, let me give you a bit of a warning here. Okay, so the Kongs, they're quite literally a bunch of monkeys. They have 2 subgroups. There's
to interrupt and be like, you don't have to be so rude.
No. They are quite literally monkeys. The Sonwu, they always have a bit of beards on their face with monkey ears. And they got tails and they're very dexterous. However, their cousins, their subgroup, the Kongs. They're more like gorillas if you've ever seen those. So the gorillas, they're far more powerful, and they don't have tails, but they are very, very strong. Not that I would recommend getting into a fight with a Songwu either. However, the one thing that all the Kongs have is a bit of a short temper and a bit of a penchant for pranks. So do your best not to upset them too much if you engage with the Kongs, because they might be laughing with you 1 minute and then they might be clubbing you over the head the next. So they're not that temperamental, but you never know. The Kongs are a bit more temperamental. So yeah, the captain's basically just giving you guys a little bit of a heads up of what to expect on this continent. It's like, I'm also really sorry, but I kind of have to drop you off here. After all, the 4 of you are technically stowaways. I had a chat with Dr. Wolfenstein. He looks at Spira.
Spira has the nice sensibility to look slightly away and down.
He says, don't feel too bad. The 4 of you have been incredible. Like, honestly, I was having a chat with Jareth earlier. Maybe I was thinking of hiring you full time to be protection for the rest of the crew. I mean, you guys have shown yourself to be more than capable. However, I'm also kind of worried about subjecting you to the whole thrope transformation every 30 days business.
Yes, no thank you.
Jared!
Yes?
Yeah, maybe that's for the best.
Hyacinth has become friends with Jared behind the scenes.
He looks at Solaris and he just goes, Roderick will be heartbroken, but I think he'll understand. You see Jareth rolls his eyes in the back of his head. He's just like, oh my god, Adrian,
Me
don't.
too. I'm also rolling my eyes. I won't say anything because I don't think I could say anything nice, so I'm just silently rolling my eyes.
He does say though, however, we do round trips. If you guys ever need passage back home, come by Oppa and just chat to the townsfolk here, and they'll let you know when we're next expected. The mayor should have the expected route shipments. Bar any other Kilrathi attacks or whatnot, we should be able to keep to the schedule. So hopefully this will not be the last time that I get to hang out with the 4 of you.
Thank you, Captain. I
Or
hope to see you again.
Jareth basically shakes each of your hands. He offers a baby finger to Hyacinth as well for a handshake.
I'll miss you, Jared.
Yeah, he's like, don't worry. I'm sure we'll see each other again in the future. You never know. Sorors is a big place, but fate has a funny way of bringing people together again. And he looks at Hadrian as if there's some backstory there, but he doesn't talk anymore about it.
Ooh, Lord.
But he doesn't go into that. So yeah, they got history. But I'm not telling you. You guys have like 2 hours before we land at Oppa. Is there anything you'd like to do, or like say to the crew, or say to Dr. Wolfenstein, or anything before you guys go? Or Roderick. He's also an option.
No.
He's in his room. Well, he's in the captain's quarters.
No.
You know where he is.
I know, but no.
I'd like to thank
Hyacinth
Dr.
to go up to
Wolfenstein for taking care of me when I was
Yeah, me
injured.
too.
Okay.
Oh. We just had
Take
to
that
pull him
finger
up.
out.
Basically,
What was that? It must have been the wind.
so Jareth says his goodbyes. He also passes a small note to Spira, which, essentially it's a letter of introduction for the mayor of Oppa. You guys will get a bit of a head start in being accepted in the town as like 4 strangers. So essentially it's Jareth putting in a good word and like an official letter to let the mayor know that you are not troublemakers and you've actually already proven yourselves incredibly capable. Okay, so then,
Boy.
do all 4 of you want to go talk to Dr. Wolfenstein?
I want to go, yes.
Yeah, I do.
I'm just following along.
So the 4 of you guys get down there, and you see Dr. Wolfenstein is busy arranging everything. He hasn't touched any of your beds since you guys set them up in his office space. He's been like respectful enough to like allow each person to have their own space that is theirs, even though this whole room was supposed to be his. So, he's just tidying up his own stuff and making sure not to put anything in your guys' space. So he's just being a good guy. And he's just like, oh, the 4 of you. Oh, I heard that we're landing at Oppa soon. Like, are you guys ready?
I think I am.
Like, don't worry, Spira. I taught you, not everything I know, but I taught you a great deal while we traveled. And I just want to say, even though you've only been my student for a few short weeks, It's been an absolute pleasure. And if we ever find each other on the same boat again, we can continue our lessons just like before.
Thank you so much. It's been amazing to have you as a teacher.
Of course, and likewise, you've been a fantastic pupil. It's been a long time since I've had a student who learned as quickly as you did. And Nyx, my dear, please, I just take care of your arms. Like, your arms and legs have gotten too many slashes already, and I'm just a little bit worried, okay? The scars might be thin lines, and he looks at Solaris, and also your shoulder.
Don't worry, I'm quite durable despite how I look.
I don't doubt it, he says in a way that's very clear. He is doubting it, but he wants to be polite. He doesn't want to shoot your feelings out, but he's just concerned about your safety. He wants to make sure everybody's okay. So yeah, he's like, oh, Solaris, let me just have one quick look as well. You're the most recently injured. And he already like starts checking your wounds on your shoulder. And he's like, okay, yeah, it looks good.
Yes, thank you, doctor.
I gave Roderick a clap on the back of his head for what he did to you.
Oh, I love him double.
Roderick wasn't too happy about that, by the way, but I mean, this is the medic and nobody with the medic.
Exactly. Exactly.
I may be a healer, but
oh my gosh. So nobody wants to go see Roderick. Okay.
Nope.
Fine. You guys.
I thought.
Oh.
Didn't Nyx want to travel the world with
oh.
You don't have to. You don't have to. I was just teasing. You can leave him on a cliffhanger.
Poor guy.
Yes, let's leave him on a cliffhanger.
Oh my God, that's
like
funny.
as soon as I get to land, I'm gonna be like, oh, I forgot. Maybe I should have told him.
Don't worry. He's only got eyes for someone else now.
It's those tentacles. I can't
Get them out of his head. The way she saved me that day, I'll never forget her.
All right. So, is there anything you guys want to do now before we make port? This is the last chance to do anything on the boat, if anything comes to mind.
Can Hyacinth go up to Hadrian and ask him a question?
Yeah, sure. Anybody else want to do anything else before we quickly roleplay that?
I want to say goodbye to the crew.
Yeah, nothing
I
else.
think Spira wants to give Dr. Wolfenstein a hug.
Oh dear. Everything's going to be okay. I'm sure you'll be able to take care of these three and yourself just fine. And again, if fate were to bring us together, I'll do my best to teach you everything else that I know.
Thank you, and thank you for everything.
And he's just like, okay. He leans out the window and you can see, he's like, I can already see we're close to port. Okay, so Hyacinth, you're going to go up to the captain and everybody else is going to say bye to the crew.
Yes.
We're gonna play their arena for a bit.
Spira is up on the deck playing the music. The crew starts joining in. They start adding shanties to it. Even though your beat wasn't really a shanty beat, it started turning into a shanty. So you kind of just roll with it. The crew is having
Start dancing to the music.
the crew starts having fun, and they've really grown attached to you guys over this journey. You know, you saved their lives, you protected them, you stuck through them even when they all tried to murder you. They're a bit teary, they're a bit happy, they're good to go. They're all basically begging you guys to stay on the journey. Some of them are even foolish enough to say, you know, you guys already survived one full moon. What's a few more? Obviously, they don't have memories of what it's like, but exactly, survivor's bias.
Oh my.
Hyacinth, you find Hadrian is leaning at the back of the boat as he's watching the port approaching in the distance. Jareth is by his side, and the two of them are just having a brief conversation. And you overhear Hadrian say to Jareth, "It never gets old, does it?" And Jareth's like, "Well, you know, every time is an adventure." Okay, Hyacinth, they spot you both. They both spot you.
I'm sorry to interrupt you two, but you remember, I have a question about how you said you can make a round trip back.
Yeah.
Do you happen to go further away from the port? Any farther than the port?
Okay, so we will try to stop off at the Celestial Den to acquire some items, whether that's technically legal or not from their land, but the locals are always happy to trade for goods and whatnot. So we always follow a principle of, if we're not hurting anybody, is it really that much of a problem? So we sometimes sell some items and food, and they give us items and food, and we trade those on. So after we do a little very short and quick stop off at the Celestial Den, we pop across to Tarnithia as we're approaching now to Oppa, and then we tend to head a bit north to the Frozen open lands in the north where there are not only the Quay, but also the Satari. We tend to do a bit of dealings with both of them. The Quay are always interested in our food, tend to be a bit more obsessed with metals work. The Satari, their fleets also like to stop off with the Quay to get a bit of supplies and whatnot. They're a bit of a dangerous waters though, because we start entering towards the abyssal as we loop around. We go through a series of Quay islands, and once we reach the north of Verdantia we then loop all the way back to Verdantia, northeast Verdantia, where we stop off at Tidebreaker Fort before heading back down to Pelstrand.
So you can take me back to Verdantia. Do you happen to know where Queen's Rest is?
Oh, Queen's Rest. Oh, I believe that was near the center of Verdantia. So Queen's Rest is quite a long way. You're but pretty far away from Queen's Rest.
Oh, I have a mission to fulfill before that, but one day I wish to go back, but I just need to know if I could ever go back, you know?
Yeah, you're always welcome on my boat, little one. He smiles when he says that. It's not like you take up much room or eat much food.
You even have a bed.
Yeah. Jareth nods in approval as well. Honestly, all four of them have shown their worth, and I'd be happy to have them on the crew anytime as official crew members. He nods. He tips his head forward.
But you promise, right? And you see her. She kind of like messes around with the bag that she's holding.
Yeah, you have my word. If we ever happen to cross paths again, you're always welcome with us.
She releases her bag and she says, "Thank you so much."
No worries, little one, and good luck out there.
She smiles and then flies back upstairs, feeling a bit guilty.
So then, everybody has celebrated. The crew have grown unbelievably attached to you guys. As you pull into the port, you notice that it is, as Jareth and Hadrian described, it is a thrope port. However, you notice that there's also a lot of Sonwu in the town as well. It seems to be that most of the buildings, Spira, you would know this, the building designs are very thrope. They're medieval European in their design styles. And you notice that, actually, everybody give me another perception roll.
Perception.
It's been a while since we did a perception. Nice. Right, so Nyx, you notice that all of these Sonwu tend to be either on their own, like individuals, or they're in small groups, which tends to imply that a lot of them visit the town, but none of them actually stay in the town. And given your guys' experience on the boat, it makes perfect sense why nobody would want to stay in a thrope town if they're not a thrope. So yes, most of the Sonwu who are in this town are traders or opportunists looking for opportunities in the port of Oppa. Quite literal, very literal. Okay. Oh yeah, whoops. As you guys are leaving the boat, you hear Jareth like running after you guys, and he's like, wait, I forgot to tell you. This is so out of character for me. As he's like a bit out of breath, and he's like, Hadrian and I wanted to give you guys a gift before you left. We wanted to give you 2 of the 3 Kilrathi horns. They are incredibly valuable, but you guys
Loot.
You guys did slay the beast, and we all felt incredibly guilty for what we put you through with the full moon. So yeah, we wanted to give something back. So we'll keep 1 to cover the cost of repairs for the boat, but the other 2, well, consider it a gift from the crew as a goodbye, as a parting gift. Yeah. You see the crew have already started to unload their goods, and you see the 3 horns, but the 2 of them are being brought towards you guys. They are very large. They're like 8-foot tall poles almost, but they're made of. Now the creature is dead, so the spirits that were reinforcing it are somewhat limited. So its durability is no longer being powered by the Kilrathi. However, they are still incredibly dense poles. Well, spikes for. They're incredibly dense toothpicks. 8-foot tall toothpicks.
Oh, perfect for an ogre.
Exactly. You laugh, but there are actually ogres in this world. But yes. Who wants to carry them, and what do you guys want to do with them? Because you got 2 of them.
Okay, can we make weapons out of them? Because I should know because I have skilled that.
Oh, you want to do appraisal?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's your word. So
Yep. No. You can use
I don't.
you can use your appraisal skill, and you'll get a +2 for your specialty in martial weapons. Okay, so give me a roll plus your intelligence. You do think that the sharp, pointy end might be useful as a weapon.
Really? That needed to have a skill in appraisal with specialty in martial weapons.
You really feel proud of yourself for coming up with that.
I should have put one more to my intelligence, really. Okay.
This sharp, pointy bit could be used as a pointy thing.
Yeah. How shocking.
Oh, it's very pointy. Pointy
But-
stuff hurts.
I'll give it to you. I'll give you this. So you might be able to find someone in town who could create hand wraps, wrap it with some kind of leather material in order to create a grip so that you could makeshift it into an official spear itself. It would have increased to penetration stats because that's what its natural organic process was made for, was to pierce things. So yes, it would be a very, very nice spear if you find someone in town who'd be willing to improve your grip strength on it.
But we can share it. Because
Well, you've got
I was thinking, yeah, but we are 4. I
Well,
mean,
one of them can't even think about holding it.
Hyacinth
yeah,
can pick it up.
you can, but I
She's
was
so
just
tiny.
thinking, that maybe we can break it into pieces and make some daggers or knives or whatever.
Well, we have 2. We could break 1 and 2.
And sell the other.
The other,
It-
and another
it's
could be a
just-
spear.
Unfair to keep one for myself when somebody doesn't get anything.
Well, it's
fine,
8
I
feet
still
tall.
have
You
other
can break it in
weapons.
half, and then there's 2 swords.
But I have already a sword.
You could keep the spear, the big one, and then the other one could be broken in half.
Yeah. If you don't mind.
I mean, you could also try and just sell the spare one. Get
That's what I
some.
was saying. We could
That's
sell it.
true too. We could use money. Like I said, I have other weapons. I'm not.
Yeah, me too. I also have other weapons. I was just thinking about maybe someone doesn't have a.
Nyx would have some currency from the Celestial Den, which is basically useless outside of the
I
country.
need money. I'm kind of broke.
Hyacinth doesn't even know what money is.
What money? What selling? What do you mean sell it? We could trade it. Like we could get something else.
Spira comes from a nomadic herd where everybody contributes and shares together, so there's also not really a need for currency.
The only one
Have
who really
money,
thinks about
guys.
currency is
And Solaris, you were given some unmarked gold coins, like just pure gold coins, no stamps, no nothing, so that essentially you know that it's.
Oh, I'm rich.
You've got some like just raw metal in value that would help you trade as you travel the world.
So what you're saying is that the only people who know what money is Nyx and Solaris?
Well, Spira would know what money is, but never
And
really
my
needed
money
it.
is useless. I have
I
all
just
this money,
never-
but it's useless.
I'm just like, what money? Why are you holding those coins for?
Yep, Spira, in the Gold Strider tribe, the only people who really managed the money were the leader themselves in order to do dealings with the other species. So yeah, basically all of you guys are broke except for Solaris.
Yay.
You sell
Let's just sell both of these because we really need the money
What does selling mean?
for gold
Why do you need gold?
to trade it for other things.
But they don't, you could just take it. I mean, they're not holding it, it's not
Our
theirs.
party.
The unintentional thief.
Yeah, the innocent thief.
We have a thief, guys.
I mean,
He doesn't know any better.
the Fae don't have a moral
Class.
code for thievery because the concept of thievery is alien to them. So yeah,
We can't lift a whole lot of things, though, thankfully.
Exactly.
Exactly. She can't take a lot, but you know, if she could, she would. And she's like, she doesn't see anything wrong with it because that's how she was raised.
Yes, but you will need some gold for things that are not material things. For example, service. So if you want to have a bed for the night in an inn, you have to pay it with gold. Or
I need to pay
coin.
for a bed?
You guys, where do you?
Spira
where do
sleeps
you-
outside.
We have to pay. We can't just sleep wherever.
You can. can,
Yes.
but you won't be.
It's not
You may be in
comfortable.
danger if you sleep just outside. Especially
It's
you,
guards.
since you're so tiny.
That's not true. I can fit into tree holes.
I miss my bed, guys. It was soft.
It really
Me
is.
It's like your
too.
homeland is so cultured in comparison.
Mine as well. It's
Multiple.
just underwater. I want to bed.
Hyacinth is like shaking her head and scratching her head in confusion. She's just, I don't get it.
If you don't
The
want
Spira
any
is just
gold, it's for
completely
you.
baffled that you need to pay to be able to sleep.
She's like, why do you have to pay people for services? Can't you just ask nicely? Like,
You can try, but
How things work all the time.
can't you just, I don't know, just ask?
Hey, do you help each other out?
As you guys are leaving the boat, you see that the crew are busy taking out all of the goods they have. Some of them are the food produce from the thrope kingdom. There's pottery, there's jewelry, there's all sorts of stuff. And you can see, Roderick is busy overlooking the more expensive items to prepare. He hasn't spotted you guys, but you see Roderick is actually doing what his family asked him to do, which was essentially selling the more expensive stuff.
So there's. Go talk to him.
Dolores, how do you respond to that? Because Nick basically just nudged you and is like, ooh, go talk.
let's just go, guys.
Hyacinth's just like, okay, let's go.
Everybody give me a perception roll, plus your wit. Oh my goodness, Solaris.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't add my 2, but I got a 4.
So Nick, Spear, and Solaris, you see one of the crew members has also taken out what looks like a suit of armor. Nix, you get a chill down your spine as you recognize that as Jiro's armor.
Oh no. Can I go up to it and take a closer look?
As you approach the sailor, you can see that he's moving the armor, but you can see that he's actually a little bit shifty. Spira and Solaris would have noticed this, that he was a little shifty in the way that he was walking, almost like he was trying to get this away before any of the crew members asked him about it. So yeah, he's basically trying to smuggle this off the boat before the rest of the crew notices this. So yeah, what do you do when you approach?
Hey, what are you doing with that armor there?
Whoa! Oh, wait. Oh, you're the Nyx one person, right? The one who helps save the crew. Hi. Yes. This is basically mine. I traded for it, and I'm going to be selling it in town.
Oh,
Can I try to see if I think that he's lying?
Yep, sure. Give me a. Okay, so you will have to give me an intelligence roll, and if you had like insight or anything like that, which I don't think you do, I double check just to be sure. Okay, you don't have an insight skill, but okay. So yeah, just an intelligence roll +1. You get the feeling that he's not entirely lying, but he's also not entirely being truthful either. Like, you can see he's uncomfortable about the fact that he was just stopped, especially about this. Like, his defenses are going up. Like, he's a
I
little
don't know.
scared.
This is a pretty nice armor. Where did you get it from originally? Just asking.
Okay, he sighs a bit and he's just like, okay. I know you're a kitsune. It got around the whole boat. Everybody knows you're not a thrope now, so it makes sense you would understand. You and I have not met before. However, you probably wouldn't recognize me since you were unconscious and all that. But the man who was carrying you basically offered up his armor to me if he would let the two of you onto the boat. And I felt terrible given how injured you were and how injured he was. So I allowed you two onto the boat in exchange for the armor and just hoping that, when the captain would find you, that you'd be thrown overboard or something. But I'm glad he didn't. And I'm glad that you actually turned out to be a good person. So I have no guilt about allowing you on the boat. However, he did trade his armor to me in a fair trade.
Ah, I see. Jiro.
And he's like,
He was always a good man.
are you interested in buying? He looks as he's like, I could sell this right now.
Oh,
No. Jiro gave that to you fair and square. Honor his wishes.
All right, then. Is there anything else before I get any more questions from the rest of the crew?
Thank you for telling me, though.
Well, I'll be off then. And he basically scuttles away very quickly before anyone else, especially if Jareth. If Jareth were to see this, he would have been in so much trouble. I was half expecting one of you guys to go fetch Jareth.
Oh,
Meanwhile. Just like, he did so much just to let me onto this boat safely.
Yeah.
Jiro.
The rest of you guys would realize that this Jiro person who was on the boat is no longer on the boat
I wanted to be like, oh, where is he?
with the seven-fin shark.
He took a
My
swim.
shark. My shark.
He took a swim. He's now traveling the seas. Like he,
Oh, how
my
nice!
God,
That was
that's
a
so
great trip.
Was he an abyssal too?
exploring the waters.
Spira, you notice that Dr. Wolfenstein is also leaning out the window and waving at you. And he calls out to you and he's like, Spira, dear, when you go talk to the mayor, also tell him to introduce you to the town doctor. And in my regards as well, and he'll understand.
I will. Thank you so much.
All right, then you guys now head into town. You guys are in the town of Oppa. It is a medieval-styled town, as that's like the whole Thropes vibe. It's bustling. It's not every day one of the biggest trade ships from Hicksport arrives. So it takes a few months for them to do the round trip. So everybody is excited because it means money is about to flow.
Money that we don't have, except
Well, you guys do have 2 valuable horns, and you never know who you might meet in the town. You guys are in town. You see the excitement's in the air. Both the local Thrope and the Sunwoo are all gathering by as the crew, the ship crew, set up their stalls, and the haggling has already begun. People are trading fruits and food and items and berries and everything. So it's the whole town has become a prop-up market all of a sudden. Do you guys want to try and find someone to buy these horns, or do you want to go to the mayor, or do you want to find a blacksmith, or what?
I think I will look for somebody to buy the horn because I don't think I have anything to stick with you guys other than just selling the horns and sharing the money.
yes, money is good right now since we
Because
have nothing.
I have my own mission, but it doesn't involve
I'm
you
just a
yet.
traveler.
I
I'm
need
just
to
a
go to
traveler.
Blacksmith.
You need to go to the blacksmith. In that case, we'll do the trade first. So you guys, Nyx and can I make it that Nyx and Solaris are finding the trade, and Spira and Hyacinth are looking for the blacksmith?
Okay.
I am just following someone. I do not. Spira doesn't trust herself with cities right now.
Fair. Your Spira,
Doesn't
I wanted to ask.
Trust me.
Is your character really tall? Like, how do you want your character to be? Because Pegasus are usually quite tall. Like, centaurs are usually quite tall species. You know, they on average 6 foot. But if you want your character to be smaller, they can be an exception.
She's on the taller side for girls or women, so she's pretty tall in that case.
Okay, so about 6'3" or so. Okay,
Tall.
very tall. Yes, tall. All right. So you basically stand above the crowd, like you've got an easy view of everything. So when Hyacinth sits on your shoulder, Hyacinth also has a fantastic view as all the Sunwoo and the Thrope are busy going around. You notice the Sunwoo tend to be a bit more hunched over, as their more monkey traits tend to make them a bit more excited. As whenever they're walking around and looking at things, they're like hopping with excitement, especially when they start seeing various shiny stuff and items and things as well. So Nyx and Solaris, you guys spend a while looking in town, and it's a bit difficult because most of the people you speak to are more interested in the food that's being traded, because it seems the Sunwoo are not the greatest at farming. They're more scavengers. So they are absolutely thrilled that the Thrope are willing to trade fruit for bread, for example, or wheat. However, you do see one Sunwoo who he's quite old and a bit grisly, so it looks like he's going to be a bit of a difficult seller, but he has taken interest in the Kilrathi horns. So who wants to do the haggling here? Or do you want to try it together?
I have a +2 for manipulation, so
Yes, let's give it to her.
Okay, so here's how we're going to do. I'm going to ask Solaris to do the
+1.
rolls, and then I'm going to ask Nyx to back them up if this guy starts giving Solaris trouble. So Solaris, you'll be facing off against this guy, and every time he wins, Nyx can counter with a roll to see if they can beat that to negate any win that he has. So you're going to tag team this guy, okay?
Tag team.
Yeah. So then he looks at you, he's like, all right, I'll bite. How much for the Kilrathi horn?
100 gold each.
100 gold. Are you crazy? And he, okay, give me your first manipulation roll. Add your manipulation, and you can add deception to that as well. So +7 to your roll.
Doesn't help.
Can I try?
Okay, yep, you got to roll. You got to roll, Nyx. He raises his eyebrows. 100 gold.
Yes, you heard us. 100 gold.
We are doing so good.
We gotta lower. We gotta lower. Sorors.
We got him on the ropes, guys.
Do you know how hard it is to kill a Kilrathi, old man? Of course, it's 100 gold.
I've never seen a kitsune and an abyssal together before like this. So how about I'll give you 20 gold each, and as long as both of you do a dance for me.
What a noble offer. 80, and that's my final offer.
Give another
You
roll.
will never see another Kilrathi horn in your life.
Okay, give the roll.
Come on, Sorors. You got this. Oh my god, I gotta back you up.
He rolls his eyes. Final offer, my monkey's butt. I know. I've been haggling for longer than you've been alive. Come on, Nix. Counter roll.
75.
Yes.
His eyes narrow a little bit. He's like, we're getting closer, but what about 60? Okay, 75 for the pair.
No, 20 each. And that's my absolute final offer.
He waves his hand as in like, nope, it's not worth 70 each. He's Nix, give me another roll. Delaris, you can back up Nix on this one.
Okay.
50 each.
Okay, give the roll. He thinks about it for a moment. Solaris, give me a quick roll so we can see if you can grab him while he's thinking about it.
Sorors.
Is this even?
Oh my god.
Fine, you rolled a 10 technically because you got +7 to that. So, because you've got deception in your skill set.
Yeah, but still pathetic number.
I'm gonna do a coin flip here. Hold on.
We're trying to get paid here.
45 each, so a total of 90. Take it or leave it. That's my final offer. Oh, I'll do you one better. However, I'll do 35 each, but I will tell you what I'm going to use it for and introduce you to the man I'm going to give it to.
What do you think, Sorors? Should we go for that deal?
I don't know. It's really low though. It's just
I know.
70.
Could really use some money.
I'll give you one
Yeah.
more roll, Solaris. One more roll. Twisting his arm
Okay.
here, are you? Success. Very nice. Fine. 40 for each one, and I'll introduce you to the Monkey King himself.
Okay, I think. What do you think, Nix?
I think that's a good deal. We're still
Yeah,
getting
that's
paid.
20 gold.
So that's 80 gold in total. He takes out his
Yeah,
pouch.
it's
Because 40
20
each.
for each of us, so
And
it's
then we get to meet the monkey. Yeah, I think that's a good trade.
yeah. We should agree.
He's like, okay, so a couple of things. As he's like holding a pouch, but he hasn't like given it to you yet. First off, you're not allowed to tell anyone how much I have to pay for these. And he said, secondly, I can't take him to you straight away. So yeah, he says, I can't take you to him straight away. However, I give you my word that I will introduce you to him.
When?
You promise?
Give me a perception roll. 17. Nice.
Now I get nice rolls. When it's about the money,
Give me a second. Okay, so the two of you are looking at him, and you can see that, from what you can tell, he is being honest. But I mean, words are wind, right? He takes out a pen from his ear, and it expands in size, and he signs a document, a proof of this trade deal agreement. However, it's also noted in the document that it's not stated how much this deal cost. That both parties are agreeing to not mention the cost of this deal. However, the part of payment is to give a formal introduction to the Monkey King. And he signs. He's like, "There, are you happy?" He shrinks the pen and fits it back in his ear.
yes, it will. I will take it.
Sounds like a good offer to me.
Mhm.
All right, he's like, "Good. Well, like I said, I'm going to be in this town for a while, but I'll be leaving the night before the next full moon. So I'm going to be here for the next month." And he's like, "I also got to refill my bloody purse strings again because you took all his money." Like, he's going to, like, he was actually going to go back much earlier. However, you, now that he's so low on funds, he actually needs to build up his war chest again. Like, he needs to build up his funds again. However, you guys basically got 80 gold. So very nice. And a letter of formal introduction. So you follow Lok Tao as he leads you through the shopping districts, and he essentially becomes a bit of a tour guide for you guys. He also starts probing for questions about you guys, but I'm going to assume the two of you avoid giving him any detail.
Especially in front of each other.
He's particularly interested why an abyssal and a kitsune are walking together and haggling together. It's like, are the two of you, you know, forbidden lovers?
Just no. Flat
No.
I mean,
No
we have a play about that. Two different houses, warring houses coming together, you know.
I just instant no.
Taking you guys around the town and giving you a bit of a lecture. So on how things work here. He also, because he's going to be introducing you to the Monkey King, he's also giving you guys a crash course on manners, on like how to behave in front of the Monkey King.
Oh, I'll diligently listen diligently since this is what I typically do.
Spira and Hyacinth, you guys are heading where again?
To the blacksmith.
To the blacksmith. Okay. So as you approach the blacksmith, you see a very muscular thrope in a blacksmith gear, and he's having an argument with another thrope, but this thrope is the cat variety. So this is your first time seeing the cat version of the thrope. Even if we use Spira, the cats tend to be more to the north, so yeah, you'll have mostly encountered the dog variety. So yeah, this cat and dog are having an argument, and she basically is yelling at the blacksmith saying, for the last time, you're not allowed to whack your hammer on a Sunday. Banging. She's complaining about the noise, and the blacksmith is looking back, and he's just like, I have a job to do. Can't you see the trade ships in town? This is the best time for business. I got lots of orders. And he looks up and sees the two of you. See, I got two more right here. And he gestures at Spira and Hyacinth.
Hi. Sorry.
The cat thrope approaches you and is like, so she approaches and she's like, hi, my name is Laura. I am the mayor of the town, and I don't recognize the two of you. Did you arrive with the trading ship, with Hadrian's trading ship?
Oh, we did. I actually got a letter of recommendation from Jared.
From Jareth? Okay, that gives some more weight. If you had said that it was Hadrian that recommended you, then we might have had a bit of a problem, but since Jareth is sending a recommendation, can I see it?
Yes, and Spira just hands the mayor the note with both her hands.
You notice she's wearing gloves, and she's dressed really, really nicely. He essentially flicks through the letter, and she's like, yeah. Oh, I see. Okay. Dr. Wolfenstein's apprentice. I should probably introduce you to the town doctor as well. She's muttering to herself when you hear this.
Actually, I'm here to see the blacksmith.
Oh, go ahead. Just not today. It's a Sunday, and the rest of the town don't want to have to deal with the banging. You hear the blacksmith being like, when Prot has a job, Prot follows through. And he starts banging away at his work right in front of Laura. You notice like her hair stands on end with each whack of the hammer because her cat hearing is really good. Yeah. Who wants to go first?
Excuse me, sir. I want Hyacinth flies up to the man, staying out of range with his hammer.
Ooh, hey, little one. What can I do? What can I smith for you?
Do you happen to know of any magic that she kind of stutters.
You want me to smith magic weapons? Is that what you're asking? And you see he raises an eyebrow.
No. Do you happen to have can you attribute items? She says very hesitantly, like, because she doesn't know what the hell she's talking about.
That's a bit outside my skill range, to be honest. He says, I can make you something, but making magical items is a bit more tricky. If you really want to make a magical item, you're gonna have to find the Quay. I mean, they're kind of specialized. Either that or the dwarves. Those, I wouldn't recommend the dwarves.
Why not?
They're a bit stubborn. you hear like the way he delivers that line is speaking from experience. He's like the most difficult people to trade with, and also the most hard-headed. So the Quay are a bit more reasonable, but they talk in circles. A Quay you'll be talking with a Quay all night just to describe the shape of what it is that you want, let alone any magic you want to add to it. However, my suggestion, little one, is to find a Quay smith. there's not much more I can do for you, I wish, but if you have any ideas, just let me know, and I'll see what I can make for you.
Well, she kind of hesitates to and she holds up her little sword. I wanted this to be able to locate somebody.
He looks at it and he's like, yeah, no, that's definitely not something I can do. I'm sorry, little one. Try the quay. And he starts to resume work as he realizes he's not going to get a job from you.
Oh.
Basically, this is out of his life. But he's like, good luck with that, little one. And he continues whacking, and Laura is just like, she growls a little bit. And she's just like, Spira, let me go introduce you to the doctor.
Yes, would be amazing. Thank you.
All right. As you guys are about to leave, you spot Nyx and Solaris and a Sonwu, an old-looking Sonwu, who is busy lecturing the two of them while walking towards the... And the prot looks up and is like, Locktow! Oh, okay. My favorite customer. What have you got for me today? And Locktow is like, well, thanks to these two, I have quite the prize. And he basically hands over the Kilrathi horns. And Prot is like, oh, another gift for the Monkey King, I see. And Locktow is like, yes, another gift. He loves his gifts. So yes, I think these ones will actually win the best gift of the ceremony. Locktow, Prot is like, Kilrathi horns are not easy to work with, though. How much time have we got? And he's like, I leave before the next full moon. Prot just laughs like, of course. Okay. I think I know what you want me to make. And Locktow says, yeah. So then, the four of you are together, and Laura raises an eyebrow at the sight of a kitsune and an abyssal together, but is like, she's seen stranger things in her town.
Average Tuesday.
All right. So then, as you're walking through the town, do you guys have any questions for Laura? This is the mayor, after all, and she got the letter of recommendation, so she knows about the four of you since Gareth is...
Hyacinth is kind of sulking on Solaris's shoulder.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were still on Spira's shoulder.
Oh no, because I flew off.
Oh,
Remember,
right. Yes.
But when Solaris entered, she kind of just sat on Solaris's shoulder.
So then...
And then I hand them the money. I think, should we wait?
What do you want to do? Do you want to
later?
distribute the gold, or...?
Yeah, I just quickly distributed the gold.
Well, Hyacinth can't exactly carry much more than a single coin.
Oh my god.
Thank you for the coin.
She's gonna put it
Hi.
down. She's gonna drop it somewhere, just so you know.
Okay, then I'm giving her 1 gold, and the rest of the 19 gold coins I'm just putting into my pouch. Okay, I'm actually writing this into my inventory.
Profit.
Hyacinth was like, it's heavy. She drops it.
All right, so Spira, Nyx, and Solaris, just make a note in your character, in your inventory of the gold you're given.
Yeah.
So each person would get 20 coins for... Does anybody have any questions for Laura?
Well, not in front of everyone. So
Wait, how much
no.
gold did we get again?
You get 20.
20 each.
Okay.
Except for Hyacinth, because she only got 1. The rest is in my pouch.
I even dropped it, so she didn't get any because she doesn't know what to do with it.
Okay, then I will take all 20 of yours in case.
As you're going through the town, Laura basically is explaining the rules. Essentially, non-thrope are expected to leave before the next full moon. The Sonwu are, they're very jovial and very juvenile. So jovial and juvenile with a very short temper. So she just warns you guys to play along with their antics, but also try not to upset them too much because, especially if they're in groups, the Sonwu tend to band together very quickly for very little reason. So if
Monkeys strong together.
yeah, monkeys strong together. The Kingus are the ape ones. The Songwu are the monkey ones. They tend to have 2 particularly dangerous abilities. The one is the paralysis touch. So if they grab hold of you, they can actually stun you for quite the duration. And they also have the rather frustrating ability of stone skin, which means they are very happy to get into close combat fights as well. So they can turn their skin into stone, and they can also paralyze you when they grab hold of you. So they are close range specialists. He said, I'm giving you this information out of courtesy because while I'm not against The Sonwu, their youth tend to be quite the troublemakers. So I'd like to warn newcomers of what their capabilities are. So if you see a particularly young Sonwu who's taken an interest in you, be careful because they're usually trying to either pickpocket or start a fight. They want to test themselves, basically. They're very cheeky, especially the young ones. The young ones are very cheeky.
Man, this just looks horrified.
It's like, okay, so the doctor,
Wonderful.
Dr. Sue is on the other side of town, so we should be able to get there soon. And as you're walking, give me a perception roll, everybody.
Oh,
Nice.
my first good roll.
As you're walking through the town and you're approaching the doctor's house, essentially you see somebody collapsing on the side of the road. And because you rolled a nat 20, I'm just going to say it right now, Hyacinth, you spot that this was Dr. Sue, or you make an educated guess that it was Dr. Sue herself. He is a thrope, a dog thrope, because as she falls to the floor, she starts screaming and pulling at her hair, and her fur starts to expand all over her body like the thrope transformation during the full moon. However, it's the middle of the day, a few days after the full moon, so this should not be happening. Her fur,
This is horrifying.
yes, her fur starts to turn like a dark red, and she starts growing in size, bigger and bigger and bigger. And you guys have seen what a dire wolf, what a thrope, primal thrope looks like. This is almost twice that size. It is absolutely huge. Spira, you, to your horror, notice that there is a bubbling mist that is coming off of the fur, but it's not like that thing you experienced before, but it's eerily similar. But instead of it being a gray mist, it's now more of a dark blood mist that is bubbling off of the fur. So this nasty aura is coming off of the body of Dr. Sue as they transform into a primal thrope in the middle of the day. Their eyes are bloodshot and their coat starts turning darker and darker. Laura gasps and puts her hands to her mouth as she has no idea what's happening. However, you guys also see Dr. Wolfenstein running up behind you, and he grabs Spira and Nyx, and basically is trying to drag you guys away and is saying, "No, you've got to get away."
What?
What is happening,
mean?
Dr. Wolfenstein?
What's going on?
I've only ever seen this once in my life, and it's demonification. He panics, and you see Laura gasps when she hears that, and she's like, "No, that's impossible." And the doctor's like, "No, we have to go right now." As you see, Dr. Sue is about to finish their entire transformation. Initiative rolls.
Oh no!
Oh no.
No!
What? Thought we were safe. Not
I
today. Not today.
Okay. Oh my God. Are you guys ready for this?
No.
No. No.
Oh no.
What?
So,
Didn't that happen with the sea thing monster as well?
yes, it did.
I think this dice is rigged.
It's just Jono's luck, but it's working against us now.
Yes, exactly. These are his role.
Okay.
I liked it much better when you were on my team.
So, what ends up happening is this demon thrope has finished its transformation. It rolled an initiative of 45.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
What ends up happening is it starts charging towards all of you. Give me dodge rolls.
Oh,
It's
Yes.
the dexterity one,
Bonus
right?
to evade. So dexterity and then anyone who has bonus to
Okay,
evade.
dexterity.
Right, that's +5 then.
Plus 3 dexterity. Okay.
That's 24.
Wait, no, I didn't mean to hide it.
No, that's fine. You can reveal it. You can click reveal. So far,
Oh, there. Oh. What are you?
Nice.
I didn't know I rolled. That's cool.
very nice.
And I have the most in dexterity, and I still rolled the lowest one out of us four. Okay, my bad luck.
Okay, it rolled an 8.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
No, what it means is that Hyacinth and Nyx dodged.
Oh no.
Oh,
So the demon Dr. Sue charges straight through, knocking Spira and Solaris and Laura and Dr. Wolfenstein across to the ground. Nyx and Hyacinth managed to avoid the attack. However, all the three others were scattered and thrown to the ground. The demon thrope continues charging forward and crashes straight through an entire house. The entire house comes crashing down.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
thankfully you guys rolled really
Oh
high,
my
so
God.
I'm not gonna say that you broke any bones or anything like that. But if that had been a head-on collision, you would have been spending the next few months getting treatment. Demons are high-level threat.
Why are you throwing everything at us?
He's like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a nice chill session.
Yes.
And then throws a demon at us.
You almost died. God, one bad roll and we are done.
Buddy, you have an opportunity to get an attack on it because it is currently underneath an entire collapsed house. So
We have to fight it. Oh my God.
Have-
Serious?
you can shoot an arrow, you can stab it, you can use your magic, or you can run away. But I kind of want you guys to fight it just for one round.
Just
Wait.
for one round. That
We gotta go in the ring with the demon and survive a round.
Oh, a demon? Technically a demon?
Yes, it's
is he like possessed or is he like possessed?
Dr. Sue. She's currently in full primal thrope mode, which usually is only supposed to happen during a full moon. However, because of the demonification,
But but what is exactly the demonification?
the only one who knows
know.
is Dr. Wolfenstein, and he's knocked out.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
So basically, should we kill her or just
Your gut says yes.
okay?
Oh, okay. He's going first. What was the order?
Because if you thought the primals were like mindless, because I said they were like 5 years, they had like 5-year-old intelligence in their primal forms. The demons are even worse in that sense.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but maybe she's savable.
No.
No. Okay,
Oh,
so
no.
she's beyond that. Okay then. Okay then, let's kill her.
Okay, try. Who wants
Wait, who
to?
goes first?
I was lost in the
Yeah. So Spira
in the
first.
initial.
I'm first.
Yeah, you can shoot with an arrow.
Am I close to Dr. Wolfenstein or am I
Yes.
on the opposite of the...
Yeah, you're close to him. You managed to. Rolled really well on your dodge. So. I mean, wait, no, sorry. You got knocked, didn't you? No, you
knocked
dodged.
to the
No.
floor. Yeah, I dodged, but I got knocked to the floor, I think.
Okay. So yeah, you're by
think
by
only-
Dr. Wolfenstein.
Spira's gonna just stand up and kind of take out her wings, just like, this is my Dr. Wolfenstein, I'm gonna protect. She's gonna draw her bow and just shoot.
Okay, give me a strength and dex roll for your attack on here. That's the new combat system. It's a physical attack, so it combines your strength and dex stats.
Wait, it's bow, so I have +5 as well.
Not stamina. Oh yeah, your bow and arrow skill. Yeah, +5, +2, +3, so +8 to your roll.
I needed that +8.
All right, it is buried underneath, so yeah, despite its huge stat buff, you land an arrow through. You hear a deep growl as it penetrates through the blood red fur that is covering the entire body of this excessively large dire wolf. It's essentially the size of a small house, and it crashed into the house. All right, Hyacinth, you're up. You've got your magic.
I'm either considering I want her to cast lightning.
Okay, use your serenade spell. So combine your composure and resolve together.
Composure and okay.
So that will be
The-
6 plus your spirit control, so +5. So that's +11 to your roll.
Oh my god.
Okay, nice. Okay, so you're starting to get a feel for how your serenade magic works with controlling the weather. Because you summon a lightning bolt that strikes the demon thrope. It lets out a howl of agony as it starts to lose a little bit of control over its muscles as the lightning bolt strikes down. You do feel a bit of a wave of exhaustion hit you from that. However, you can smell the singed fur. Spira, you notice that this blood mist that is coming off of it, that's bubbling off of it, is increasing in intensity. Nyx, you're up.
Can I stab it?
Yes. It is still, it's currently paralyzed by the lightning strike. So this is a perfect opportunity to get in a slash or an attack.
Okay, let me do a slash. Let's see.
Which katana do you want to use?
Yes. Oh, can I use the one that Jiro gave me?
Yeah, you've got Jiro's and you've got the Noble Clans one.
I want to use Jiro's right now.
Okay, so give me an attack. You have Let's see. Your sword hits the fur, but it doesn't seem to go that far through into it. However, you do notice that your sword trembles strangely as it hits against the spirits of the demon thrope. And give me a perception roll.
Okay.
You notice that some of the spirits that are coming off of the thrope get absorbed into the sword.
Oh. Okay.
Solaris, you're up.
Okay, so I think I should use my throwing daggers and aim for her eyes. So I try to shoot 2 of the daggers.
Okay, give me a physical attack. So strength plus dex plus your martial prowess. So that's 4 plus 5, that's plus 9.
It's 9.
Your guys' stats have gone through quite a buff, huh?
I think you did this because you want us to have like more evil fights, like more extremely powerful fights.
No,
Jono.
don't worry.
And that's-
Don't worry. Okay, so you throw the daggers. It doesn't quite hit the eyes, but it does land on the head of the dire wolf, and one of the daggers lands inside its mouth. It takes damage. It's bleeding a little bit, but you notice that when the blood drips onto the floor, it evaporates like you've dropped water on a hot pan. It immediately evaporates as it hits the floor, and it turns into that same mist, that like blood mist. You notice that the blood mist that was coming off of it starts to turn like charcoal black as it starts to get further away from the body of the demon itself. So it's a bubbling red mist that then turns black as it extends. It doesn't look pleasant. However, now the demon's turn.
Hyacinth's mad, going like
Within a second, it identifies all of those who managed to do damage to it and those who attempted to do damage to it, and it immediately tries to swallow Nick's whole.
What? Jono.
What ends up happening is that everybody, for a brief moment, is completely blinded by a white light and a thunder strike. Instead of the throper that were about to bite down on top of Nyx,
God.
there is somebody standing, pinning the mouth of the throper down. A seraph with her 4 wings are fully exposed and her long ponytail with a rapier already drawn, and she's literally holding the entire demon's mouth shut to the ground. She grabs her rapier and stabs it through the snout of the demon thrope, pinning its mouth shut to the ground. In a brief moment, grabs Nyx, and within half a second, you're already back with the rest of the group out of its range.
Huh? What? What? Oh my god.
For those of you who know, this is Denai. She will make her introductions to you after the combat.
We get to watch the cool fight happen.
Yes.
Let's go.
we don't even need to fight no more.
Yeah.
She does something that you wouldn't expect, even if you did know. She immediately folds away her wings as they fold in on themselves and fade out of existence. Seraph wings are actually part of their soul, in a similar way of how Spira can summon her primal soul into the physical world. Seraph wings are essentially a manifestation of their souls as well. So they can be physicalized and also immaterial at the same time. So she's basically packed away her wings, which is actually a serious nerf to her capabilities. However, she cracks her knuckles as the demon itself rises up and eventually like breaks through. So the whole sword essentially goes through the snout. So the demon is now bleeding from its mouth. However, it immediately charges at the two of you, at the group.
Boy.
Yeah, and I essentially grabs both ends of its jaw and holds it in place, stopping its charge in one full moment. She doesn't even move back an inch. She tosses it into another building.
God. Cool.
Fortunately, you see a thrope couple fleeing from the building as a demon thrope crashes through it. You notice that Zenai is no longer at your side, and she's already grabbed her sword and is rushing towards it and essentially impales it through the chest. It's not enough as the thrope slashes towards her. The thrope just can't seem to land a hit as she starts to continually land slashes on it.
My god.
What's all that?
The demon thrope can't seem to land a single hit on her as she's dodging it and slicing it up. You notice that the blood mist is essentially like evaporating from its body now as the black smoke is rising into the air itself. She coughs a little bit from this, however, decides to go for a grapple. Yeah, she grabs it by its throat and essentially flips it onto its back. Remember, this thing is like almost the size of a small house.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, she's so scary.
He starts stabbing it where its heart should be. Despite all of these attacks, it doesn't seem to be doing it. Like what should have been fatal wounds isn't actually. Like the creature itself just keeps picking itself back up. However, she immediately starts to lure it away from the town. As you guys are watching, she essentially gets it away from where everybody else is, and the demon leaps up to try and in desperation it tries to do the same move that it did against Nyx, where it tries to swallow Nyx whole. So it basically tries one more time to swallow Zenai. For a brief moment, she releases her wings and her halo spins up at the same time, and within half a second she has sliced the entire demon in half.
Oh my god!
She immediately folds.
My hero.
She immediately folds her wings. The two halves of the demon start trying to pull itself back together, but it's too sluggish. She jumps up into the sky, releasing her wings for one more time. Everybody feels the entire air drop several degrees. Like it's almost it went from summer to the end of autumn within a few moments. You see her, as anybody with spirit sense can see that the spirits that were in the air are drawn into her wings, and she casts down a lightning bolt that is 4 times the size of Hyacinth's.
Oh my god! Jesus! Oh! I have spirits.
Fries the demon itself. The demon's body that's been charred by the lightning is still bubbling. It's unrecognizable at this point, but it's still trying to move. She again folds away her wings, lands on the ground, and essentially picks up this mangled, charred body of the demon itself, throws it into the sky, and basically hits it with one more lightning bolt that causes it to explode.
Wow.
She rolled a crit on that
Too
last
cool.
one.
Just to show. Oh my god, she's showing off at this point. No.
No, she doesn't need help. That's the
She doesn't need help.
She folds away her wings again. She's been doing this the entire fight, which is very weird. You notice that for the first time since you actually saw her, she takes a breath. She actually goes. She fought that entire fight while holding her breath.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
There is a reason for this. She immediately approaches Spira and draws her sword and points it towards her. And she's like, "You're not related to this, are you?"
What did you say?
She says, "You're not related to the demons, are you?"
Of course not.
Her eyes squint and she does a roll. And she sheathes her sword. And she says, "Though it seems that you may have been touched by one or something similar to it, I can sense the sickness that's buried deep inside." Spira, you get a memory back to that day. You remember that Viden wasn't the only one that black myth had briefly touched. She is essentially saying that she can sense that thing may have also done something to you that day. She decided to trust you enough that she wasn't going to eliminate you on the spot.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Spira's getting a cold shiver along her spine.
Does anybody have anything else that they want to say?
Can I say thank you? Because I was about to get.
Yes.
Hyacinth just like mouth agape, just like.
Me
staring.
too. I'm just admiring her like, oh my god, teach me.
Thank you so much for saving my life.
She was like, "No, thanks to you guys, you kept it distracted long enough for me to arrive." She said, she sighs a bit, she clucks her tongue, and she's just like, "Every single time I get close." She picks up Laura and dusts her off, and she's like, "Sorry, Laura, this is partially my fault." And Laura is a bit shocked, she's horrified, she's like, But Dr. Sue, Spira, you realize that Dr. Wolfenstein is still unconscious.
Yeah, Spira's gonna check on him.
Okay, give me an apothecary roll. 27, perfect. You pull out some smelling salts, and he immediately is like, as you awaken him from it, and he's just like, the demon, where is it? Are you okay? Are you okay? Is everyone okay?
Everyone is okay. Can't say the same about Dr. Sue, but we're okay.
Oh no, was it Dr. Sue? No, I don't believe it. Why would she? And then he spots Zenai, and he's like, he responds immediately. He says, "By the heavens, Zenai, when did you get here? Was it because of Dr. Sue?" And Zenai closes her eyes a bit, and she's just like, "Unfortunately, yes."
Can somebody just explain what the hell was happening? What was the thing?
What?
Zenai looks at you and says, "You're the one that threw the pretty good daggers, didn't you?"
Yes.
Okay. So do you even know what you were up against?
No, it was a werewolf, but it was a strange one.
Zenai sighs a little bit and she goes, so demons are my fault. Well, not exactly my fault per se. I am Zenai von Iceland. I am one of the generals of the Seraph, and I've made it my personal life duty to exterminate all devils and succubi from this world. Unfortunately, after 100 years of fighting the devils, they have adapted. They've gotten more clever. They created demons in order to counter me. And fortunately for them, I have developed a counter for their counter. So in this game of cat and mouse, every time I get close to hunting down a devil, they tend to activate one of their demons to force me to choose whether I continue pursuing them or stopping whatever catastrophe the demon would unleash in whatever populated area it happens to be in. And unfortunately, I have a conscience, which means that I, more often than not, have to let the devil go in order to stop the demon. It's frustrating. She grips her sword.
Meanwhile, Hyacinth is just like
So,
slowly hovering towards her.
She's so cool.
Yeah.
so this means that there is a devil somewhere near here?
Yes, a devil arrived in Tarnithia a few weeks ago. Apparently it came from northeast Verdantia, which is why I flew across. I had hoped to talk to my sister, but I caught wind of where he was, but by the time I got close, I heard the commotion in town. This devil has probably slipped far away by now, as they always do. They cause chaos, and then they slink out and enjoy the fruits of their mischievousness. She sighs a bit. The way a demon works, they're based off of wraiths. So wraiths are essentially the coagulation of negative spirit, and the devils have learned that they can use their contract magic to force one of their contractees to burn their souls in unstoppable negative emotions, which essentially causes a feedback loop where the negative spirits burning off of their soul ignites their soul further, essentially forcing a massive power boost, but at the expense of the individual soul. That blood red mist that was coming off of their body was their soul burning up all of their spirits, and the spirits were dying as well, which is why they were turning into that black smoke, which to a seraph is absolutely poisonous because a seraph's wings naturally absorb spirits because it's a stealth mechanism. So that's why I had to keep my wings sealed as I fight these demons. As I said before, the devils created demons in order to counter me. However, I've adapted my fighting style. So yeah, that's why she had to fight hindered, holding her breath and unable to use her wings.
That was really impressive. Can you tell me more about the devil you were after that arrived several weeks ago?
She sighs a bit and she's like, I'd gotten a tip that it was going to be heading north towards the Satari and the Quay, but I was hoping to catch it in this town. It seems I was just a bit too late though. It's best if we go to the Seraph Aviary on this continent, and I can take you there. And that's where we're gonna call it for tonight.
Is that a threat we see? Is this a big bad threat?
The next episode should be right here. Thanks for watching.